So we've come out for a little bit of a training hike today. It's a bit chilly, windy, we've had a bit of rain as well. Fully kitted out in all my waterproofs today, so I thought I'd show you the kind of things that I wear when it's raining.
Hello.
You may already know that I like to get out hiking and camping in all kinds of weather. Does it get any better than this? Wind, rain, we've had a splashing of hail. Love it. But as long as you've got some decent footwear, some kind of waterproof layer, then there's no reason why you can't get out and enjoy the great outdoors in all weathers. So starting from the boots up, I'll go through all the gear that I use for when I'm out in the rain. So the boots I wear are the Scarpa SL Actives, and they're a full leather boot that are rated for 4 to 5 seasons in the UK. They're a little bit muddy at the moment. The important thing for me is that they're fully waterproof, as long as I clean them regularly and then reapply some wax to keep the leather in good order. These ones are quite expensive, and I did get a proper boot fitting with these because I didn't want to get it wrong paying that kind of money. But if you like getting out in places like this quite a lot, then I recommend that you invest in a good pair of boots. But if you don't want to pay that much for a pair of boots, then it's well worth checking out the ones at Decathlon. And they do come with a really good guarantee, so if you have any issues with them, they'll swap them straight away. Perfect picnic spot. This looks a really cool spot to have a bit of lunch. There we go. No steak and asparagus today. Finally learned how to open these. This is more like it. I'm supposed to be filming wet weather gear. Finally getting some proper rain. Joe doesn't like it as much as me. Next bit of wet weather gear is my gaiters. I wear these extremities ones, and they're made from Gore-Tex. Not only are they great for keeping water and bits out of your boots, they're great for when it comes to keeping mud off your trousers. So even if it's not really wet, it still can be very muddy. You know when you get that muddy spray all up your trouser leg. Just hook on your boot and then velcro around your leg. I'm wearing my waterproof trousers today, and I try not to wear them whenever possible. These ones are made by Berghaus. They do have a zip that goes the full length of the leg, which does help with putting them on when you've got your boots on. As I say, I'm not a big fan. They do tend to restrict my movement a little bit, and they make my legs sweat. But if it's really chucking it down, sometimes you need to put them on. I don't remember the exact model name, but I'll pop a link in the description below, as I will for all the items that I show you. I need to catch her up. You might have seen in my Derwent Valley backpacking video, I've also got a kilt that I sometimes use instead of the trousers. It's a really good bit of kit actually, but you do get some funny looks if you're walking through a town or a village. So before we move on to coats and jackets, we'll have a look at what we've got under the jacket. So a cap not only keeps some of the weather away from your face, but it's brilliant for keeping your hood steady. I don't know if you've had that problem. I've had it many a time anyway, where you're turning around and your hood's like covering your face, and then no one can hear what you're saying. This keeps everything nice and tight, and it's a much more comfortable experience when you've got your hood up. Big thanks to everybody that voted on my Facebook poll when it comes to the caps. I decided to go with the Flex Fit and the one with the adjustable strap, and they're both available on the website now if anybody's interested. So when it comes to jackets, it's a bit of a minefield, and you've sometimes got no idea what's best to buy. In theory, you should be able to just put on, a plastic sheet, and that keeps all of the water out. But in reality, you need to have something that allows your skin to breathe as well, and for your perspiration to escape. It's alright having something that keeps water out, but if it keeps your moisture in as well, then you're going to be wet anyway. So I've got a number of different waterproof jackets. I've tried loads of different types over the years. The one that I'm wearing the most at the moment is this one, which is the Rab Zenith. My other jacket from Rab is called a Fuse. I've had that for quite a while now, and that's a Pertex Shield material. So that is different to Gore-Tex again. It has got a DWR coating, which needs retreating every now and again. It's a different feel to the Gore-Tex material as well. It doesn't feel quite as stiff and crackly. This is sometimes like wearing a thick bin liner. That's what it feels like. Whereas the Pertex Shield seems to be a little bit more like a regular material and a little more comfortable for me. So another type of waterproof jacket that I've got a couple of is made by Paramo. So I've got a Paramo Keto, which is the orange jacket that you may have seen me in a number of videos. So that uses a different type of technology altogether. It's a directional clothing, so the water actually does penetrate through to your skin, sort of. And then it's got like a pump system in it, which pumps it again away to the surface, and that in effect keeps you dry. The fantastic thing about Paramo stuff is that you're always toasty warm in it. For me, I can't really wear it in the summer months at all. Sometimes in spring and autumn also, it's just too warm for me. But in the winter, that is my go-to waterproof jacket. Wind's picking up a little bit. So as most waterproofs, the Paramo also requires that you reproof it every now and again with something like Nick Wax. This gives it a water repellent surface, which allows the water to bead off. But eventually with those jackets, the water does penetrate the surface, and that is when the pump liner comes into its own, and that starts to make all of the water come from your skin out to the surface. I have also got the Velez Adventure Light as well, which is the red pullover smock. Again, great bit of kit, but a little bit too warm for me for most of the year. Water's looking pretty high in the reservoir today. So the last couple of items when it comes to waterproof gear for me, it's in my bag. Now some of my bags do have a waterproof cover on them, and this is important for keeping all of your gear dry inside. However, in this one, everything that I want to keep inside stays inside a dry bag, which is where I keep my gloves. So these are actually snowboarding, skiing gloves from Decathlon. They're water repellent and very warm. Can't believe it's dark at 4 o'clock. There's one other thing I want to say about waterproof gear. Some people say that your skin's waterproof, and it is. But one thing that waterproof gear does for you is it makes a little microclimate between the layer and your skin. So even though sometimes you may be a little bit damp inside through sweat, or if you've got something that's not very breathable, you're still going to be warm, and that tends to be the case anyway. Whereas if you get wet through and you haven't got any sort of waterproof on there, you could end up going down the route of hypothermia, which, believe me, is not very pleasant. So let me know in the comments below what waterproof gear that you swear by. And if you've got any questions about waterproofs, it's well worth heading over to my Facebook group, which I'll link below. There's loads of people that's willing to help you out, including myself. I'm going to say goodbye to all the kids.
Bye. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Alright,
Oh, there, yeah.
see ya.
She'd be good on something like Balamory, wouldn't she?